everyone, this is the 6th grade lesson 23 worksheet. So which of the following is a prime number? A prime number is basically a number that cannot be divided by anything that isn't 1 or itself. So you can find whether something is prime or not prime by just looking at it. And 16 can be divided by 2, which is not 1. 2 is not 1 and it's not 16. So that means that this is not a prime number. Next is 21. 21 can be divided by 3, which is 7, and 3 is not 1, and it's also not 21. But 29, however, can only be divided by 1 or 29. And you can't do another number without getting like a decimal or something. So 29 would be your prime number. What's the greatest common factor, GCF, of 24 and 36? So greatest common factor is, well, the name that, well, it already tells you what it is in the name, but it's basically, or a factor is a number that can be multiplied into here. So a factor of 24 could be 2, just to keep it simple, and a factor of 36 could be 3. And the greatest common factor is just the biggest factor that you're going to get from factoring out these two numbers. So you can see that 12 already, we just know that that's the greatest because if you factor that again, you're going to get 2 and 6, and that's obviously smaller than 12. 2 and 6, not 26. But in case you factor out everything, you can just find numbers that they have in common and multiply them, and that's going to get you your greatest common factor as well. So yeah, a store is having a 25% off sale. So 25%, you can put that as a fraction by doing 25 over 100. And if a jacket originally costs $60, how much will it cost after the discount? So here, you can find the discount. And here, that's going to be your original price, because 60 is 100% of the original price of the jacket, because the jacket is $60, and 25% of 60 is what we're going to get here. But you can actually make this easier by, instead of doing 25, you could do 75. Because by finding 75% of 60, you're just going to find your answer right away. But if you found 25%, that would just be the sale part, so you would have to do 60 minus like 25% of 60. So now that we have 75, we can just put a random variable on top. I recommend putting x just because it's very universal. And then you can actually cross multiply, which makes things a lot easier. So 100x, because you're crossing from 100 to x, is going to be equal to 75 times 60, which is 4,500. And then if you divided those both by 100 to get x alone, x would be 45. So that's our answer. What fraction is equivalent to 0.75? So, hold on. First thing you can do here is just put it over 100. because this is equal to this. If you do simplify, or you can just draw like, just to make things easier, I'll draw a little circle. And imagine that you have your circle. This is 25% of the circle, right? Which is 1/4. Since the circle is 100 and this small part is 25, it would be 25, 50, 75, 100. So that would be 50, and that would be 75. So there's 4 parts in this circle, and we filled in 3, which is 75. So we could say that this is 3/4 just by making a little drawing, but not every time is it gonna be like that simple, so you can just get a drawing. So I would rather recommend putting this into here and then simplifying. So you can divide those both by 25, divided by 25, and you would get 3/4. So any of those works. If a triangle has angles measuring 35 and 75, what is the measure of the third angle? So imagine you have your little triangle. This can be 35 and this can be degrees. Make sure to put degrees. This can be 75. So the total angle measure of a circle is always going to be 180. Always, always, always not a circle, sorry. A triangle is always going to be 180. This angle, this angle plus this angle plus this angle, all three, that's going to be 180. So that just helps you get a better view on it. And 75 plus 35 plus that angle that you're trying to find, the third angle, which we can just make x, it has to be equal to 180. So now you can just solve. X is going to be equal to, when you move 75 and 35, so that would be 180 minus 75 minus 35. So that would be 70 degrees. And that's this angle. A recipe calls for 2½ cups of flour. If you want to make the recipe, how much flour do you need? So 2½ cups, or just 2½ is going to be equal to 5/2. And you know this because this is a whole number, but that comes from this fraction. So 2 is basically equal to like 2/2 plus 2/2. So that here would be 2/2 plus 2/2 plus 1/2, since that's 1/2. And there you get 5/2. So that's how I got 5/2. And now we need to find half of 5/2. So you can do that by multiplying by 1/2. And the reason why you multiply instead of dividing is because if you did divided by 1/2, that would actually get you a bigger number, because 5 divided by 1/2, or 5/2 divided by 1/2, that's equal to 5/2 divided by 2. And you know this because when you divide a fraction by a fraction, the equivalency of this is the reciprocal. And reciprocal is just like when you flip the numerator and the denominator, you just flip it. So that is equal to that. These are equal. Oops, it's not connected, but these are equal. So that's why you multiply instead. So when you multiply, you'll just get 5/4. And that's equal to, 5/4 is equal to 1 1/4. And you know this because in here we have basically 4/4 plus 1/4, because this is 5. So you would get 1 1/4 cups of flour. Okay, that's it for the worksheet today. Thank you for watching. Bye!